Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, and in this video we'll be previewing Ascot Champions Day. Now without further ado, we'll get straight into the first race, the Stayers race in the 125, and I like a horse here called Sir Eric. I'm going to take on Stradivarius tomorrow. I don't think he'll like the ground. He's never won anything with soft in the description, and also as well, he's had a really hard season this year, and even though connections say he could be ready to go, I think he won't like the ground, and I think Sir Eric is a really good contender to take him on with. He's 8-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Aidan O'Brien. Don O'Brien's but for the ride, won really well last week and actually backed him when he won a listed race at Limerick on heavy ground. He's bred to stay, he's very likely race, he's going to get the 3-year-old allowance tomorrow, and you're going to be wanting to back horses that handle cat in the ground, and the current description at Ascot at the moment is soft, heavy in places, and I think that's probably going to be the way tomorrow. It might dry out a little bit, but I still think it's going to be very testing conditions, and I think Sir Eric is going to be a really good bet tomorrow, and I think he can get us off to a good start. We then go to the 2 o'clock, and I actually like the Tin Man here. Not original, I know, but I think he's been the best sprinter this year. He always turns up and runs a race. 7-2 bookmakers at the moment, trained by James Fanshawe. Oisin Murphy's had a great season, is but for the ride. This horse won this race in 2016. We know he handled conditions because he won on heavy ground at Haydock this year in the Sprint Cup. He also ran a good race last year in the Haydock Sprint Cup on heavy ground, so no worries there about the ground. He's been the most consistent horse. I think you can't go with a horse like Hydrangea in my opinion. I think he's gone at the game in my opinion. Taslee, I know, is a horse that should maybe like the conditions, but I think you can take him on. I don't think he ran really well last time at Haydock, and I think the Tin Man is the most solid bet, and there's still a little bit of value in it at 7-2. For the Fillies and Mares race, I think Lati Dar is definitely worth taking on. I think she won't like the ground, and if you actually look at her family as well, a lot of them don't like the ground, so I think you could write off Lati Dar. I like Hydrangea here that won this race last year, 12-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Aidan O'Brien. Don O'Brien is but for the ride. We haven't seen this horse since the King George back in the summer, but I think this race has been targeted for Hydrangea. Also as well, Aidan O'Brien's horses weren't running well at that point. They've been running better in the autumn, and I think Hydrangea does want the cut in the ground, and I think it's going to relish it tomorrow. I think 12-1 is a great each way chance. We then go to the 3:15. I'm going to be taking on Ruin Line again. I don't think he'll like the ground. I like Lord Glitters here, 15-2 bookmakers at the moment, trained by David O'Meara. Jamie Spencer's but for the ride. This horse won on this fixture last year by winning the Balmoral handicap in really good style. This horse will like the conditions as well, because that Balmoral handicap was on similar conditions. A lot of his best form has come on soft ground, and he loves Ascot. He's never finished outside the first two. This year he's got some strong form, however, on good to fast ground. He finished second in the Queen Anne here, and also as well, he won a Group 3 earlier in the year at York at the Ebor Festival. So I think he's a really good, solid each way contender at 15-2. We then go to the 3:50, and I'm going to take Cracksman on here with Monarchs Glen, 16-1 bookmakers at the moment. I think Cracksman is gone at the game. I think John Gosden's got another good runner here in Monarchs Glen. Robert Haviland's but for the ride. This horse won the Wolferton Stakes in really comfortable style at Royal Ascot, so we know he likes the track. Also as well, he does handle conditions. He's won on soft ground before at Goodwood, so no worries there. And I think this horse, even though it is very lightly raced, can go really well tomorrow and is a great each way play if all 8 runners turn up. We then go for the Balmoral handicap to finish us off with a horse called Safe Voyage. Now this horse is around about 9-1 bookmakers at the moment. I think this is a really interesting contender. I think there'll be a massive punt on this, trained by John Quinn. Sean Davis is able to claim £5 tomorrow. Interested in that he's coming all the way over from Ireland for this horse after he won on it at the Galway Festival. Also as well, this horse won earlier in the year on soft and testing conditions at Haydock by 6 lengths. A lot of its best form has come on soft ground, and that actually was soft ground as well at Galway Festival. So I think he's still well in off his handicap mark, and I think he's got to go really close tomorrow. For 9-1 will be a good bet. And also as well, I think maybe the place to be tomorrow could be low. I think that especially when it comes to the more testing ground, actually when it's been low, that's when a lot of the horses have run their best races. So for me, 9-1 with a few multiple places with different bookmakers is a good each way bet there. So they're the tips for tomorrow's Ascot Champions Day. I think it's going to be a lot of shocks and surprises tomorrow. Probably none of those will do really good, but hopefully we can get a couple of winners out of those selections, and hopefully we can have a good day. So if you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button for more videos. Also as well, you can follow me on Twitter at LuckyLoaders15. Please gamble responsibly. Hopefully we can have a good day tomorrow, and we'll be seeing you soon.